it as volume.
Right.
You know, because they're a volume institution.
Right.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you had intact cases, which we've done a lot, so we've sometimes shipped those back to our lab in its entirety.
What I saw, I had one incident where I had a person that I promised something to, and I couldn't deliver. And I told Robert, we need to find, places that are able to
Produce the volume you need.
yes,
Yeah.
so that we're not looking. Oh yes, we can get you this.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's and then when we were able to contract with people that I feel 99% sure that we're going to be able to fulfill our side to researchers and
So many of them think they can, right? So many of them think they have the volume, and it's like not really. And
Right.
so many physicians are like, oh, I can totally procure tissue, and they can't. So it's just it's a lot of misinformation. You deal with that quite a bit. Yeah. Well, I think I was looking on the website a little bit earlier today and just sort of seeing all the different things that you have listed there. I think on the topic, on the fetal tissue side of it, it'd be helpful for us to understand volume-wise. I mean, realistically, if we were to do an agreement with you guys, what do we think you could get? I mean, what do you feel like you could get?
Volume-wise?
Yeah,
Okay.
on specifically liver tissue, because that's such an area of demand for us.
Right. So liver and what about intact specimens?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you had intact cases, which we've done a lot, so we've sometimes shipped those back to our lab in its entirety. Oh yeah, I mean, if you had intact cases, which we've done a lot, so we've sometimes shipped those back to our lab in its entirety.
Okay.
So that would also be great if you have
The
those.
entire case.
Yeah, because it's just, again, the procurement for us, I mean, it could go really sideways depending on the facility.
Yeah.
And then our samples are destroyed, and we're like, really? This was all so much work, and then just to have them be destroyed is awful. I mean, we have, researchers wait forever, and they want certain things perfectly done. So, we started bringing them back even to try to manage it from, procurement expert standpoint.
What goes wrong? Tell me what goes wrong that you think you're getting something and it doesn't come through.
I think for us, for the liver tissue, focusing to that piece at least, we've seen like doctors provide blood clots. Oh yeah, we've got a liver. They think it's a liver and it's a blood clot. So we've seen plenty of those. We can always tell right away because it's just red water by the time it gets to us. So it's like, wow, it disappeared out of the conical container. Yeah, and there's just so much too. Contamination-wise is another big issue. I mean, so. We've seen all sorts of things, but yeast contamination, that can be an issue. We have a number of quality checks we have to go through with things internally, just to make sure that we're not, investing a bunch of money into trying to isolate cells just to find out that they're contaminated. So it's just, there's a lot of steps there too that the researchers ask us to do. So, yeah. And then we'll do testing on our side, so we'll be able to see, and sometimes we find that it can be clinic specific. I've seen really rampant problems with bacteria in certain clinics. Some where you're kind of like in question of really should they, I've seen staff come out of clinics, so I mean I've seen all sorts of things come out of clinics. So
just the different sites that we visited.
Exactly, right? So it's how serious the clinics sort of, in their own facility kind of looking at that too. But so then, I mean, on the range piece, and what do you guys feel like you could do on that front? maybe
So what would keep your lab happy? Like what would make your lab happy?
another 50 livers a week.
So what would keep your lab happy?
Another 50 livers a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you can handle that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's volume for us. And just so you guys know, too, on the collection side for us, we're also, as you know, as you see Megan out there at clinics, right? I mean, we're working with, almost like triple-digit number of clinics. So it's a lot on volume. And we still need more from what we do. So it's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So I don't think you're going to hit a capacity with us anytime in the next 10 years.
well, I mean, going into it knowing it has to be financially beneficial for you.
Yeah, and both of us,
Right,
for sure.
right. And so promising the providers, making it financially beneficial for the clinics.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be doing their job,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what I'm trying to find out is who needs to be doing what, who hasn't been doing what, why has it been a failure financially for clinics or you or us, and solving those problems so that everybody's profiting financially.
I feel like there's clinics out there that have been burnt that feel like they're doing all this work for research and it hasn't been profitable for them.
Really?
No, do you feel that way? Sorry, that was.
Oh, I thought you were saying that.
Yeah, no.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see that either. I feel like there's clinics out there that have been burnt that feel like it hasn't been profitable for them. I was going to say, I don't see that either. I haven't seen that piece either with that. As you probably know, potentially, I mean, I think that one of the issues with neural tissue is so fragile. It's insanely fragile.
Right.
And, I don't even know.
Whenever you're ready, no rush.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. It's very
No
sweet.
problem.
I was going to say is that I know we get requests for it's the hardest thing in the world to ship.
You do as the whole Calvarium.
That's it. Yeah, that's the easiest way. And I mean, we've actually had good success with that in the past. So
They're like, make sure the eyes are closed.
Tell the lab it's coming. Did I open the box? Oh,
I know.
God. You know what I mean? So, where so many of the academic labs cannot fly like that. They're just not capable.
Why is that? I don't understand that.
It's almost like they don't want to know where it comes from. Megan's seen that, where they're like, we need limbs, but no hands and feet need to be attached. And you're like,
They just want the long bones and they don't want to see that
they want you to take it all off, like make it so that we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Bone the chicken for me, and then
that's it.
you
Sort
know,
of
and
like,
then I'll eat it.
But we
not
know what it is. I mean, but their
So
lab.
this goes to that whole stigma.
Stigma.
That,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
this is,
And their lab techs freak out and have meltdowns, and so it's just kind of like, And I think, quite frankly, that's why a lot of researchers ultimately, some of them get into a lot of other things, right? They want to look at bone marrow, they want to look at adipose, they want to look at adult human kind of adult-based sampling because they sort of want to get away from having to publish a paper that says we derived this from fetal tissue.
okay.
Do you feel the same kind of support like from Cecile and from Deborah? And
Yeah, and just, everyone at PPFA and just, the affiliates. I mean, I just think you're either in the cause or you're not.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the cause, like, they don't need you around.
You need to get out.
They need champions. And if you're not a champion, you should go.
Yeah.
Because that's just, and I don't know, the clinics, they're very guarded, as they should be.
Yeah.
And who do they let in their house? They want champions in their house, right? So it's just, I think it's that same concept, and ABR's just never truly understood that.
Yeah.
And I think it's been sort of the downside to that.
Yeah. Are you seeing any trends between the independents versus Planned Parenthoods, or your percentage right now breakdown? Are you doing, like, is it pretty split evenly, 50-50?
It probably is. I don't know. It is different, but I don't know that I could think really one has more pros or cons than the other. I mean, Planned Parenthood has volume,
Right.
Because they're a volume institution. Planned Parenthood has volume,
Right.
because they're a volume institution.
Right.